Ready, hold, go! Who's going to get it into turn one? It's a poor start from the Williams on the inside line. It's a brilliant start from Sulkin, the McLaren side by side. And Heichler has the inside line, and that's surely going to be their move. But no, it's side by side as they drag race into the following corner. No, there you go. Brusco backs off, and it's a brilliant start from Heichler on the medium compound tyre. Everything else seems pretty good further behind as well. No massive dramas. The tyres are on your screen now. It's Brusco, the only driver to start on the hard tyre. That's going to be a difficult one. To be the only car on that compound is really, really tough. We've got Igapro further behind looking to try and do something. Charlie is surely want to charge through and past their teammate sooner rather than later to get this race on the go. But it's Briscoe Jr. who really needs to try and make this work, and out of any circuit, a DRS train heavy circuit, it's Saudi Arabia to make this work. Surely they can still hold on. Well, it's going to be tough. The ERS management's going to be crucial, and they're going to wait for that DRS, and they are going to be waiting for a little while, so they really do need to try and sacrifice something here, whether that be let their teammate go through or use all the battery now. And I think it's going to be the battery option, at least first, as a first and effectively last resort. They really don't want to allow their teammate to go through because they might not be able to get back. It's Sulkin who leads the way from pole position. Heichler made progress. It's Briscoe into P3. Then we've got Charlie, Verf, Igapro once again putting pressure on the Sauber car. Then it's Frantic, Tom and the Griggs further behind. The red car leads the way. DRS will still be available for Heichler, but it's 7 tenths. It's not that big, and actually the gap, it's pretty big. And the gap between Briscoe and Heichler is actually smaller than the one between Sulkin and Heichler, and Sulkin's just had a brilliant first sector, massively gaining on the McLaren car. DRS might have just been lost, but no, a big snap of oversteer, and unfortunately all of the effort has just been thrown away, and they're trying to break away from the DRS, and that would have been a race defining moment, but unfortunately it's not going to work out that way. It's Tom in the background making a mistake, and that's on the exit off the bank corner, and that's a big bit of front wing loss. Unfortunately, that's not going to help their race at all. Heichler just holding on to DRS range. Fortunate for that slight mistake there for Sulkin, who went on a monumental first sector but didn't quite keep it together in the middle. Briscoe gets brought along with us in this train, and Charlie, the next medium tyre runner, just waits behind at the moment. All of the train further behind us, effectively cancelling out, although I am intrigued to see what's going on with Igapro because they keep putting that pressure on Verf. Will we see a move from Heichler? No time at all. And it's going to be no battery either for the McLaren. And that's going to be even more confidence-inducing to Sulkin. But Sulkin is ahead. They need to focus on themselves, and they're not going to know what the battery situation is of Heichler because they're not behind and looking at the flashing light of that orange car. We are, and it's definitely flashing into the corners as you'd usually see, but not so much everywhere else. Now, after that close call for Heichler almost missing out to DRS on Sulkin, will they decide to take the move and try and control the race a little bit more by going into P1? Well, it's a strategy for sure, and they're not far away anymore. 3 tenths, they're surely making the move at this stage. They aren't really pushing towards the final moments though, and they do back off, so it's going to be a turn 1 look quite possibly. Igapro in the meantime has lost the position to Frantic. Frantic now does have DRS. Igapro doesn't have DRS, and Frantic, what happened there? It's Heichler to P1, and Sulkin is going to fight it. They are going to go side by side. They're going to break as late as they possibly can. Heichler has to be given the space, and Briscoe's invited to join the party as well. Charlie bunches up. It's the outside line for the Williams, but they back off before it was too late, and that could have gone horribly. but luckily the Portuguese driver was able to figure that one out pretty quickly. Now, I thought that little battle might have slowed down the pack and allowed Egapro to catch up, but they're all over the place on the steering wheel. You can just see them sliding left and right. This little straight section isn't going to help. The corners might be alright, and they've just done enough to get within that DRS range, and I think they're going to be able to hold it at least for a little while. They don't have any battery to really maintain anything, and you can see Frantic up in front saving the battery, and they're going to be using it once again. It just looks like Eagle's got rear wing damage or something. I'm not entirely sure what's happening, but those rear tyres are maybe the problem rather than the damage. And there you go, DRS is now lost, and I think that could be it for Egapro. But sliding in the high speed sections as well, there's something wrong with this car. Solkin still leads the way, but it's no move for Heichler. It's Verf, though, on the inside line on the second Williams runner. At the moment, a big mistake on the exit is going to compromise their run all the way to the first corner. Are we going to see a move from Heichler, or will they have to go for something? The outside line is being forced as they go to the inside to Solkin to defend, and it was Briscoe putting the pressure on. Heichler had to try and mitigate that situation. He did so well. In the background, Verf got that move done. And we see Egapro continue to lose out as the DRS train is just going to be oh so powerful, and there is no way fighting back unless you see the cars in front fight very hard. Solkin's not doing a half bad job at that, but for now it's not enough. Egapro's hoping for some fighting in the first sector. Frantic's pretty glad that they don't have a car directly behind them and they can focus on the cars in front instead. But 1.8 seconds is going to be tough, and with the body language of that Aston Martin, can we see them catching back? Well, they've had good races here in the past. Doesn't mean that they can't have one again in the future. That's a big off there for Heichler, going over track limits, and it's going to be a brilliant exit for Briscoe. It's his call to make the move, though. On that tyre, they're not going to have the best pace, but it forces Heichler to go on the attack to Solkin. There's contact, minimal stuff, but still enough to provoke some sort of movement, and it's going to be once again pressure from Briscoe, and it's going to be a double overtake surely on Solkin as Heichler is forced to do something, but no! Oh, big contact. I think Briscoe was assuming that Heichler was going for the move. They broke late as well to try and follow along, but it didn't quite work out in the end. It was a very good effort for Briscoe to try and put the pressure on and force Heichler into making that move to see if they could maybe make one move, but no, it doesn't work that way. And Heichler still has some battery to use, so they weren't actually trying to force the move, and Solkin has a lot of battery to use as well, so they could have pushed a little bit harder. I don't think it would have been as easy as we thought it might have been in the first place, as it appeared to be, to get past that Ferrari into the first corner there, but I just thought that that run, that speed that the Williams and the McLaren both had, it would have been an easy move, and then all of a sudden a brick wall of air just hit them, and they stay behind. Now, Egapro is maintaining that gap and actually closing it quite nicely. They're doing what they can. This battle here is definitely closing up, and it's getting very, very tight. It's Heichler forced to make the move, and I think they've just lost DRS because they were behind going into the braking zone. Solkin might have it. Solkin does have it, and Briscoe is boxed in. They have to go left. They have to go right. It's 3 wide for a moment here. Solkin takes the position directly ahead. Oh, and that's surely not going to work. Incredible stuff, and I don't know how they're all in a straight line, but Solkin somehow is in P1 once again, and Briscoe didn't manage to get there, but Heichler's now down to P3. What a mix-up. How about that? Verf, right behind this battle. Charlie, also, it's frantic as well. Eager Pro almost had it, almost was able to get within DRS range, and they've actually managed to do it now. A massive run, a massive improvement. We see Eager Pro join us, and as everything is heated up massively, it's only going to get easier for them, especially as they've got effectively half a battery. So they are going to be happy with that one. It was definitely tight into turn one. It was definitely tight, and it's gonna be similar all race long, because these guys are pretty good at what they do. And we're on to lap 8 out of 25. Briscoe Jr. has a clear shot of going for the move, whereas previously they were in a train of 3 and they couldn't get past Heischler. This time it's an easy move on DRS into turn 1, and there's nothing that Sulkin's going to do to fight that kind of overtake. Now it is Briscoe Jr. leading the way for the first time this evening, and they're going to control the pace on the hard tyre. They've done what I thought they couldn't really do. They've stayed with the pack, and now they find themselves in P1 on a tyre that's only going to get quicker and quicker and quicker in this race. According to F1 24, this and 23 is the fastest strategy. In F1 25, doesn't seem to be the best strategy out of the lot. That's because the hard tyre is considered such a consistent tyre, such a fast tyre, that you don't need to worry about it, whereas there's a bit more management involved in the medium tyre. Now, how late can Briscoe Jr. go in this race before they need to pit? That's the question. Can they manage this hard tyre to then go for that medium? They're going to be undercut severely by the medium tyre runners. They're going to have to do overtaking once again. They will have better tyres, at least for the beginning and middle part of their final stint. But when we get to the final laps, it's going to be all even once again, and they've really just got to try and make use of that extra grip they'll have in that middle part of the race. It's Heischler making a big mistake, but we want to go back here as Sulkin is closing up, but they don't go for the move this time. There is DRS for Verf, there is DRS for many drivers. There's also a time penalty for Heischler, unfortunately, so there is an issue there for the McLaren car, but they're still holding on to the pack, whereas Verf, they've got no DRS at this stage. They've got basically half a sector to try and get that DRS back, otherwise it's pretty much gone, and they might not ever see that back. But Verf has actually got a front wing end plate bit of damage. That's what's happening there. I did not realise. This time it's only a bit of damage, whereas before it was a complete DNF. They're lucky to be in the race, but 1.1 seconds, it's not getting any easier. They're fortunate there's a mistake from Heischler, because that's 9/10 the gap, but also Sulkin has just lost it. Oh, big mistake. I do not believe what I've just seen. Contact with the wall, and Sulkin has fallen down the order as far as you can go. P2 chasing down the leader. And it looked like they were trying to hold on to that DRS range, and instead it's gone the complete opposite way. That's both Ferraris tonight in the wall. It's Heischler now out of DRS range with a time penalty. Verf has that damage. Charlie easily swoops around the outside, and Williams are looking on the up tonight. Frantic also wants to try and find a way through, as they're going to get a clean run actually at Charlie. They're not going to quite get there in the end, and it's actually Eager Pro who follows Verf in and tries to call it a strategy call, maybe from Verf. They did do effectively a whole lap with that front wing damage. They're going to lose a lot, but they are also going to get an undercut. Sulkin's going to have to do that same thing, and it's pretty tough to deal with. Frustrating. But Briscoe Jr., 2.5 seconds, is only getting quicker relative to the other medium tyre runners. They've got some off-set strategy runners as well, which is only going to make their race easier. Heischler has the time penalty that they've got to deal with later on into this race, just confirming that it is a 3-second time penalty. And Charlie, well, they're 2 seconds behind Heichler. They've got a 4.5, almost 5-second gap to the next car that's not got damage or a time penalty, and that's tough. That is very, very tough to take. Could we see EagerPro potentially have a big undercut and be involved in this race? I'm not entirely sure. I just want to know, when is this man going to pit? When is this man going to pit? They stay out for now. McLaren, though, in the background, is going to dive in, and we'll see Charlie and Frantic follow as well. Brusco is now unleashed into their own strategy, completely alone on the track. No one around. It's pure focus. Don't think about the times, just drive as fast as you can to your target pit window. And once you've done that, then the rest of the race is up to the gods. And there's nothing you can do about it other than push to the limit. Without getting a time penalty, of course. Heichler has maybe found that limit and gone over it a little bit too much. EagerPro has made a massive, massive step with that undercut, and you can see that 1 lap advantage has brought them back into DRS range, and it's brought them back into DRS range into P3. It is P3, unless we see Heichler and EagerPro overtake Brusco Jr., which is very, very possible. EagerPro is now in P3. Absolutely awesome stuff from them. Charlie almost within DRS range. They might be able to get the job done and join in. It's going to be tough, especially since EagerPro is currently struggling to hold on to DRS range, and they've just held it. It's going to be a massive help to catch them back up once again, and then they get another dose of it going into the back straight, and then the final start-finish straight, they get another dose of it again. You get 3 in a row. You used to get one into turn 14 just before the banked corner in 2021. They changed that around, and now you get 3 DRS zones consecutively, which is just absolutely insane. EagerPro is going to be able to gain a decent amount, although that being said, Heichler's pushing on the battery to try and prevent any gain from EagerPro. Is that going to be possible to mitigate now, as they have just used a lot of battery to try and do such a thing? Sulking with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, showing that they are very quick. It's just now after that mistake, it's changed a lot of this race. Verth, with that damage, has ended up behind Frantic, still within DRS range of Frantic in the end. 2.6 seconds away from Charlie, both cars are. And then you see Charlie with EagerPro trying to chase them down, but DRS is almost available for the Serbian, and it's just tenths of a second away. They've just managed to get the job done, I think, or no, maybe not. They've just missed it. We'll look at that rear wing and see, does it open? And it doesn't. Heichler's just done enough. Charlie is all of a sudden brought back into it, or are they? I'm not entirely sure. Where's DRS going to go to? Is it the Aston Martin? Is it the Williams car? Which British team will it be out of the 3 we've got here? Well, it's not McLaren. It is going to be Aston Martin. Charlie just misses out. They were so close as they pushed with everything they possibly can. But here comes the green car once more, and now Heichler has just tried to go for a push lap. They've just tried to break away. They've used all their battery, and now they are done. They can't do anything about that anymore, and 2 tenths, 3 tenths are gained by EagerPro, and they're now going to be on the tail of that McLaren. We still see Brusco stay out, but there's a 4-second difference that we've seen since we last checked in with the Williams. And that's going to be really, really tough later on into this race. In the meantime, we see Charlie catch up to the battle of EagerPro and Heichler. These guys are going to be bunching themselves up a little bit, and that's what's allowing Charlie to join in the fun. And joining in the fun, it's going to be Brusco Jr. at some point soon. But they've still got a couple more laps to go realistically on this medium tyre, especially considering how early we pitted on the medium tyre. Not many laps in this Grand Prix compared to most circuits.
think it might even be the second shortest. And there's Tom into the pit lane. 10-lap old hard tyres. Unfortunately, another front wing damage moment from the Ferrari. No safety car deployed, and they do get that new wing on. Briscoe stays out. Heischler is now being challenged big time. This would currently put the McLaren car down in P4 off the podium positions, and at risk to Frantic if Frantic and Verf can fight in a effective way in this race, although Verf hasn't been able to find a way of getting past the Alpine for now. 15 seconds, and that's the 5-second margin. Briscoe Jr. now is definitely going to be overtaken once they've left the pit lane. Even I would say by 5 seconds. The pace is going to be great. The DRS is going to be available to the others on the slower tyre, but it will allow them to be able to take advantage of the fresher tyre and not lose as much time as they maybe would have. It's really all about how hard these guys fight here. If they fight each other, then they'll be in trouble. Eager Pro gaining massively, once again catching up nicely. DRS, however, for Charlie is a bit more cancelled out. It's not as effective. It's still definitely an improvement from if they were to not have it at all. But Eager Pro is able to hold on to the back of the McLaren very, very effectively. And there's nothing that really Heischler can do about it, and I don't think there's much that Eager Pro can do about it either, because they can't seem to get ahead or close enough at least to Heischler to try and challenge for a move, nor are they really trying on that 15 out of 25. Why would you? There's so much more to go in this race. Now, these hard tyres have had a few laps on them now. They're not going to be at their peak performance. They're still going to be good to go. But they are going to start to get pretty difficult to drive with. Now, what we saw was a lot of struggles from many drivers, including Solkin on lap 8 out of 9, or 8 to 9, sorry, of the race. So for Briscoe Jr. to pit now wouldn't be maybe optimal, although it would give them more laps in the race to be able to go quicker. They'd also have less weight in the car. They would also have less tyre wear because of that. But are they going to give themselves one extra lap? No. They go into the pit lane now. They do go into the pit lane now. Tom Robb will unlap themselves from this race. Briscoe Jr. is into the pit lane. And they go for the call, they go for the move into the pit lane, and there it is. The three move on in front, and it's not only three cars that jump in front, it's going to be, just as close as it's ever going to get. 3, 4, 5, I don't know. It's a drag race, and Briscoe Jr. does what they have to do in this race to try and take victory. That is epic. How about that? Frantic wasn't willing to fight it there for a second. It has just helped out Briscoe Jr. that little bit more, and that might be the difference between winning and losing the Grand Prix. They've now got 4 seconds to gain on the cars ahead and then win the Grand Prix from there. And not only have you got a 4-second gap to gain, you've also got 3 cars to try and get through to get to that victory spot. That being said, Heischler has a time penalty. You can always use a time penalty runner as a tool in a race. You try and sit them in between you and the next car behind that doesn't have a time penalty, and it just helps you that little bit more. You've got to hope that that time penalty is legitimate, and you've got to hope that that time penalty runner is going to be hungry to try and fight the cars behind and prevent you from being attacked. But that's all hypothetical for now, and we'll see how much this Williams car can really do. Can they catch up? Charlie holds on to DRS range. Eager Pro is on their way to the party here. Will the two Williams drivers play ball with each other? Will they try and find a victory for one of the cars? Or are we going to see a little teammate battle going on? Well, I'm not entirely sure. It would make sense to let Briscoe have a go and then try and attack later on, because that's very possible. It would also mean that if Briscoe went for the move, then all the cars would probably bunch up. They would be battling. It gives Charlie a better chance of getting ahead of Eager Pro. Right now, they're just in a DRS train that is just locked in and you can't do much about it. You are at the mercy of Eager Pro, and well, with an 8-tenth gap, nothing's really going to happen with that one. 1.7 seconds though. Briscoe Jr.'s pace is absolutely monumental. How hard is that cliff going to be though when the tyre does get old? I don't quite know. It's going to be tough. On board with Charlie. Just running with half battery at the moment. Not pushing to the limit, but not exactly relaxing fully either. The gaps are pretty tight. 8 between Eager Pro and Heichler. That DRS helps everything close up a little bit. Briscoe Jr. in the meantime setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. The DRS zones really don't help at all for the Williams car, but at least for the corners, that's where they'll gain everything. They've got to be careful that they don't push the corners too much and extend track limits. They've also got to make sure that they manage their tyres towards the end of the race, because right now they're pushing to the maximum, they're catching up to DRS range, they're using the battery, but if they can't make it to the end of the Grand Prix and still be competitive, then all of this is for nothing. DRS is available. DRS is no longer available for Eager Pro. There is a mistake, and now that changes things once more. It now gives Charlie a clear look at making a move on Igor, and that makes it even more difficult for Briscoe. They won't be able to benefit from those really good tyres and make a move on a cancelled out car with a DRS train. So that's maybe track limits there once more for Briscoe, so they've got to be careful they don't do that too many times. We could also potentially see a double overtake here if Briscoe Jr. gets this exit right into the first corner. And they send it on the brakes and they get back on the throttle and match their teammates' exit. DRS and ERS is being spammed, and we're going to see both Williams charge past Eager Pro. Are we going to see Briscoe Jr. get ahead of their teammate on the inside line? They will not do so. But that is one move done and two more to go. With the time penalty in the equation, Briscoe Jr. is one move away from winning this Grand Prix. Lap 19 out of 25, and as we're now in this race and we look at the tyre situation for the Portuguese man, it doesn't look so impossible anymore. Heichler also though, looking at the gaps that they've got with the advantage they have over the Williams car, it's also not so impossible either. Anything can happen in this race, and we'll see who's going to take the glory, but DRS is available for Briscoe Jr. Would they push for the move now and try and work together with their teammate to catch back up to Heichler? Or are they going to just try and make that move into turn one? Well, turn one would be their best bet. They'd have then the first sector.
Oh, to catch up! Oh, I don't believe it! I do not believe it! Charlie makes contact with the wall, gets offset, goes over the curb, gets a track limit and a time penalty, and their teammate gets distracted and joins in as well. They sit behind and they're looking to get the DRS from their teammate to then get a big old tow. Heichler in the meantime is also getting DRS from Tom Robb as well, which is crucial stuff in this race on the final few laps. There's a switch up there between the two teammates, and Eager Pro has to hope these guys don't fight, because right now there is a victory on the line. Briscoe Jr. can help
Charlie catch up to Heichler, they've got to try and work together. They've got to try and hold on to DRS range of their teammate. That's the only way that Egapro can win this Grand Prix. But Briscoe Jr. now is going for the victory on the track, and they need to try and get ahead as soon as possible. Otherwise, they're not going to get ahead at all. DRS range still available for Heichler as they're sat behind Tom. Tom isn't exactly moving out the way, but there's the ERS being used with the DRS, helping them gain even more. It's frustrating for Briscoe, definitely, but it is what it is. And now that move's done, it's Briscoe Jr. who might actually end up benefiting from the DRS of the lap car as well. If they're fortunate, they're pushing on the battery, and they now realise that all of a sudden this isn't just with time penalty range, this race. It's all about getting it on the track, and they have to try with everything they possibly can. Egapro has got to hope that Charlie plays ball and doesn't defend from them, otherwise they'll be in trouble. The Griggs retires. That's the safety car! No way! No way has that just happened. The safety car is out. We go an extra lap, and we're going to get a sprint to the end. Heichler, Briscoe and Charlie do not believe their misfortune. Egapro, frantic, Verth and Sulkin all of a sudden brought back into this, and with no time penalty, they are going to be very, very happy. The soft tyres will also be incredibly useful. And I don't know what to say, but Briscoe just can't catch a break, can they? A bad race last week, and it's a repeat again. The safety car has not helped them once more. Pushing to the limit, looking to try and take victory. It would have been close, but very possible. And now it's distant. Still not impossible for all cars to get time penalties around a circuit like Saudi Arabia. The Jeddah Corniche circuit, the track limits are just brutal and very fine. And that's what we can have problems with. That is Heichler either having an incident with the lapped car, or they've just allowed Tom to go and unlap themselves. I believe it's the second option that we've just seen right there. Tom would have had the opportunity to unlap themselves anyway, as long as Heichler went into the pit lane. Now having to save or catch up to the delta, Tom slows down once more. And there it is, everyone into the pit lane, as expected. I say, as expected, Briscoe Jr. is banking on the fact that the safety car is going to be going in pretty soon, or hoping at least by staying out with their time penalty that they don't lose as much time to everybody behind. But I feel like with the fact that everybody else behind has pitted, that's not really going to be effective. All of a sudden, once you catch up to the safety car, everybody else behind, everybody is able to drive the circuit at their own pace. Before catching the safety car, there's a delta. Once the leader catches the safety car, you drive at full pace. You can catch as quickly or as slowly as you want. In the F1 game series, we know that the race doesn't go to the end on the safety car. You always have at least 2 laps of racing. We're going to have half a lap of DRS. And now, Briscoe Jr. and Charlie, they've got 1.5 laps to try and get through without the DRS, and then that half a lap at the very end against fresh soft tyres. David v Goliath. It's going to be brutal stuff. Seems to be my word of the day, doesn't it? Anyway, it's lap 22 to 25, and we've not got long in this race. We eventually see Charlie into the pit lane, which is an interesting call to do it now. They do have the freshest possible tyres, but they are now at the back of the pack, with a time penalty as well. Well, I guess they thought that they would end up at the back of the pack anyway if they just stay out on their old tyres, so they might as well do something. And I think that's a completely valid choice. Briscoe is going to struggle massively. They're going to have 50% battery per lap to try and fight this one off. Fresh softs that have some peak performance taken away by being under the safety car versus some decently worn out medium tyres. Remember, we saw problems from Sulkin with this tyre in the end of their stint on about lap 9. We're going to get 9 lap old medium tyres, and now, yes, we've seen Briscoe Jr. under safety car saving their tyres for a little while now. But they are warming them up right now, and they pushed absolutely massively at the beginning of the stint to try and catch up and make sure that they're in DRS range. It doesn't matter, it's the situation that we're in, and we've just got to try and ride it out. Let's see who's going to take the glory in Saudi Arabia. The safety car rounds the final corner. Briscoe leads. The safety car doesn't enter the pit lane yet. The speed's building. And they're just wiggling that car to really get every bit of temperature in. The safety car's in the pit lane. They can go at any point now when they want to. They round the corner. And they still warm the tyres. They don't go yet. They try and catch everybody behind off guard if they can, and they've nailed it to the floor. And there's Heichler reacting quite nicely. Has anybody else got a better reaction time? It's Frantic. Frantic is involved. Frantic's to the outside line. Can they go for the move? Oh, they can't, but it's the inside. What is going on from Sulkin? An opportunistic move, but one that could be victorious if they get everything right. The outside line, it's not going to work. Surely, there's a big off, and that's Sulkin overtaking off the circuit, and that's not going to go down very well at all. Absolutely incredible stuff, though, from Briscoe Jr. Can they hold on? Oh, Eager Pro's off! Eager Pro's off! The most likely race victor from all of this is off the road, and Frantic is now in the firing line of taking victory here in Jeddah. Briscoe Jr. leads the way on lap 24 out of 25. DRS not available, saving the battery through the lefts and the rights to try and hold on. In the meantime, Sulkin is gaining and gaining. Charlie is gaining. Verth in P6 is not too far away either, but Eager Pro is out of DRS range. Although they don't have a time penalty, it's all gone downhill, and they continue to have problems with that car. The slipperiness is just a bit too much for the rear end. Frantic, though, has to hold their nerve, because it could be very good. We've got a side-by-side moment as Charlie's trying to put the pressure on Sulkin, even with a time penalty. It's not going to go down very well with Sulkin by doing so, but it is what it is. It's Heichler into P1, and it's Briscoe Jr. trying to stay with the McLaren. Frantic does hold off eventually. They know that as long as they stay ahead of the Ferrari car, who's 2 cars behind, they can take victory here. Briscoe Jr. wants to try and get that move on Heichler at least to get P2 in this race. But it's all a little bit difficult, and all of a sudden, Briscoe's tyres are completely dead, and time penalty range could be at jeopardy here for Frantic. What a turn of events P2 is now going to be crucial to the success of P3, and Briscoe Jr. is not able to hold on. Charlie is threatening Briscoe's position, and maybe that's what he's trying to fight for, but Frantic has to try and get ahead. They have to try and push on the battery to make sure they don't lose out to Heischler, because currently they're only a couple of tenths away at losing that victory, that first ever LSI F1 victory. What a drive Heischler's having right now. Is it going to work out? Briscoe Jr. is affecting this race massively. Frantic or Heischler, who will take victory? Charlie is having a look, but it's not going to be anything in the end. They just have to wait behind. We're going to see a side-by-side moment as we've got once again Verf and Sulkin side-by-side. There's contact. It's Heischler who crosses the line to take victory. It's Briscoe P2, but Frantic is going to win for the first time ever in LSI F1. Absolutely incredible. Heischler to P2. It's P3 for Sulkin in the end. What a mix-up we just had today. And I will tell you once again, it doesn't matter how many drivers you have on a grid, you can still have a good race. Absolutely incredible. As we make history this evening, Frantic wins in LSI F1. How about that? It's Frantic in P1, it's Heischler in P2, it's Sulkin, Verf, Egapro, Briscoe Jr. to P6, it's Charlie, Tom, and the Griggs DNFing earlier on. The race director's on your screen, and we go to the pit stop section. Briscoe Jr. cannot catch a break after that one. The two Williams drivers, who were looking like they were on the top of the world earlier on, have ended up effectively at the back of the pack at the very end of the race there. We'll see how it went for the drivers. With the post-race interviews, we'll see you in a bit. Hello everyone and welcome to the LSI F1 World Championship. We're back with the stream and the post-race interviews are upon us. Frantic, for the first time ever, I will say, LSI F1 winner, you are the victor of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. How about that? That was absolutely insane. The safety car at the end, are you happy with that one?
Wow, yes, let's go! Well, I'm very happy with the safety car. I did not deserve to win, but maybe after all those seasons of pain and suffering, I do kind of deserve it. So luck was on my side today. Yeah, right? That's what I'm saying. So like, yeah, I'm very happy. I'm very pleased. I think Friend the Gang is pleased as well. But this is just something we can enjoy, but I have to practice straight after because tomorrow is a big day. If I can win tomorrow, that will be 3 wins in a row, which is insane. Friend gang, let's keep pushing. Let's keep pushing.
I love it. I love it. Absolutely perfect. Congratulations for the first time you're a victor in LSI F1. How about that? Well, we were saying yesterday you need to be a higher tier driver. Maybe that's kind of solidified in it right now. I don't know. Oh, I can't speak English. I'm fucking nervous.
No, well, they're just rumors, and I'm just gonna say right now, my heart belongs to the 0.5 tier. So don't worry, Friend the Gang. I will never leave you.
Thank you very much, Frantic. Really good job today, and I'll see you next time. Congratulations.
Appreciate you.
And we move on to Charlie. Charlie, that was a tough one. Really good effort, and it looked like the Williams were going to be having basically a double podium for a period. I thought it was pretty much guaranteed. What happened in the race? What happened with the strategy in the end as well? Because obviously with the safety car it made things difficult, but you didn't pit immediately.
Bro, I swear to God, every interview this season that you had with me, you open up with, "This is a tough one, bro." Yeah, but nah, I just choked like hard. Like there isn't like I cannot explain myself. I just like I was like, oh, I just saw my teammate in the front. I was even like making a gap so I can like pit. I don't know why he didn't pit. That was just a bad decision.
So did you not pit because your teammate didn't pit?
Yeah, but like that's just stupid of me. So I did not pit. I was like, oh yeah, cool, I didn't pit. Then I saw I was on 68% hard, and I'm like, why didn't I pit? So yeah, it's like, I don't know, my brain works in like mysterious ways, honestly. But bro, the pace in qualifying from the guys is wicked, honestly. Like, who was it? Soken just like put it up. Was it like halfway through the quali that was like better than my PB? I don't know. It's like crazy. I will never catch up to those guys in qualifying. It's honestly insane. I was only hoping for my pacing in the race to be better, but it wasn't either. So, like honestly, I was staring at another P5, and to be fair, I was P5 on track, but had a 3 seconds, so P7.
The way I see it is that you've had wins here before, and you were just trying to be nice to Frantic and allow them to get their first victory.
Oh no, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Fronting Gang, I'm part of Fronting Gang, so yeah, I'm kind of biased, you know.
Yeah.
I was just like choking on purpose, to be honest. So.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. We've sussed you out. Sorry, Charlie. Thank you very much. Really good effort today, though. I will say we do recognise that you were in that train and you were trying to give it a good effort. So I do want to ask, safety car, was that to not come out? Where do you think you'd end up?
P5?
No, it would have been at least P3, surely.
And I have no idea. I don't want to think about it even. So.
Fair enough. Thank you very much, Charlie. I'll let you go. Have a good one.
Yeah, thanks.
And we move on to Heisler. Heisler, not the race you wanted in the end in the final moments, but still on track, a brilliant victory. A P2 to take home. Brilliant points for the championship as well over your closest rival. On track today at least, Verf, 2 positions. Can you take us through that one? Because result-wise, it's actually pretty strong. I know you didn't want that, though.
Well, this one I'm happy with. It's Friend the Gang whoop whoop that he won. That's amazing to see that he wins in F1 as well, just like he does in F1.5. So yeah, that's amazing to see. Yeah, I'm not too bothered at it. I'm only P2. The safety car was again unlucky, just like in Brazil. It robbed me of the win. I would have won, I think, if that didn't happen. The mediums of Brusco, sorry. The mediums of Brusco would fall off. And I know it can even be like 2 seconds delta to your fastest lap, which is not, you won't reach that with the hards. So I knew in the end of the race I would have advantage, and I struggled on the mediums, to be honest. I needed to push quite hard on them to just keep kind of my position. Brusco was really putting pressure on me and Salkin. Which is not weird. He was on the better tire at that point. So that was a hard period, and I was a little bit worried that my pace wasn't good, but it was just everyone pushing at the start and me just not really wanting to push, but I had to push. So the pace was overall not great in that stint. But then on the hards, yeah, Salkin made a mistake before that, but then on the hards, the same happened again, that in the first part of the stint I wasn't quick. I couldn't shake off Igor in the first part, and Charlie was catching us up as well. But this time I wasn't really pushing. I wasn't pushing the tire. I wanted to keep the tire in a good shape for the whole race. And that seemed to work, because as soon as Charlie overtook Igor, he couldn't catch up to me. The gap slowly became bigger by 2/10 before Brusco overtook him. So I was really comfortable, especially when they both got a penalty. And the gap was 2 seconds, so I thought, okay, I didn't expect it, but I might be able to win this race. And then the safety car came, which is, like I said, unlucky. But it happens. I made the best of it. I overtook Brusco on the right moment. He saw there's no point in fighting me as well, luckily. So I could push on the last lap. Sadly, I didn't really have the ERS anymore to use on the last 2 straights. Otherwise, maybe the win was there. But in that moment, you were just trying to create the gap and really pushing everything out of it, even the ERS. You're not really thinking about managing it through the lap. But that happens, I guess. So P2 is fine. I beat it Salkin, I beat it Verve, I beat it Igor, who were all three really close in the championship before this race, like together, and then me quite far ahead. And now I have a win gap to them, to all of them. So I hope I can wrap this up in Hungary. That would be nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say, I will agree, the overtake in the final moments was absolutely perfect. It's just a shame that it wasn't enough to get ahead of Frantic in the end. So, well done. Very, very well played race. And I'm just sorry it wasn't enough, but you did a very good job. Thank you very much, Heisler. Well done on the strong result today.
Thank you.
And we move on to the end of the stream. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure. We will see you tomorrow for the F1.5 EU Championship. We'll see you next weekend for the Belgian Grand Prix. I can't wait. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.